are encouraged.
We're gonna get coffee in here, please.
It doesn't really matter. Nothing really matters. Hello.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Oh, do I? I don't think so. What? Oh. Yeah, man just loves to rock out. Good morning, folks. It is Wednesday. It feels like a Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. I doubt you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, but I hope you are. We're going to have Jackie, the joke man, Martling at some point this morning, and then it's going to be like a day off, a day at the beach, as they say, or something like that, a day in the park, a picnic. It's going to be something. It will be not work is what it will be. But winter, man, winter's not letting go. Here in the Northeast, let me just make sure I have this right, because I get a lot wrong lately, and I don't like getting things wrong, to be honest with you. The Northeast faces flood, wind, snow, threat from late season nor'easter, snow. It's April 3rd. We're going to get snow. And then the Midwest is Great Lakes seeing heavy snow blizzard conditions yesterday. It's going to be winter for a few more years. Few more years of winter. The groundhog did see his shadow, but it just said, well, there's my shadow. Fuck it. Cold winter. Not much going on in the world to talk about. Bill Maher apparently is the worst person in the world, because he can't have a guest on his dopey little podcast. I forget what it's even called, without smoking pot in front of the guest all show long, however long it takes. He invited Steve O. I guess Steve O is from Jackass. I'm not really all that familiar with Steve O. Steve O has his own podcast from a van. Jackass star Steve O says he asked Bill Maher not to smoke pot during a potential interview with respect to his 16 years of sobriety. Maher said he couldn't do it. Couldn't get through a program without smoking pot in front of his guests. I mean, listen, I love my marijuana. I do. I know that's a terrible thing to admit, but somebody asked me not to smoke for like an hour or two. I think I could do it. I think I do it every day. I mean, and if you really want to talk to a guy, you really want somebody on your show, that's a small sacrifice to make. But apparently the internet is ripping Bill Maher a new joint hole. You know what? Good for the internet. Internet actually is good for something once in a while. And if it's ripping Bill Maher a new joint hole, I'm all for it. Here's to build Bill Maher's joint hole. Willie is probably, I don't know, some airport somewhere in somewhere on Earth. That's all I could say. Probably in some airport. Steven, the sitcom Ortiz is missing in action, which could mean uh, I don't know, another emergency room visit, something like that. I kind of alluded to the fact that I get a lot of, for whatever reason, a lot of emergency room visits from people who are supposed to be on the show. Um, late, it comes late. These emergencies always seem to happen, right before we're supposed to go on live. Now, Stevens are definitely legit. I'm not questioning that at all. But another one last night. Scheduled guest for later in the week. Just basically said she's got some issues and not going to be able to make it because of some hospital visits or family emergencies or something like that. We get a lot of that. Apparently, maybe it's best not to book yourself on the show, because I'm thinking if you book yourself on this show, chances are you're going to need a hospital visit. So maybe for your own health, just don't book. Just don't book. Or for your family's health, just don't book. Anyway, we have, it looks like a Politipod contributor with us this morning, and the fabulous Ron Kane. Let's start with Ron Kane. Good morning, Ron Kane. And good morning, Politipod contributor.
Good morning. MindDogTV.com. The only place to get your 2024 Coffee with the Dog Sexy calendar featuring all of the Coffee with the Dog family. MindDogTV.com.
Coffee with the Dog has a family?
Well,
like the Manson family type thing?
I didn't know what else to call it. I could have said cult. I could have said
cult.
Followers.
Cult is nice. I like cult. It has a nice ring to it.
Damn it. Mind Dog TV. The only place to get your Coffee with the Dog Sexy calendar featuring all of them.
Hold on, I got a smoke pot, man. I got a smoke pot in front of you guys.
MindDogTV.com.
You guys know Steve-O?
I've heard the name.
Were you Jackass fans? Are you Jackass fans? Are you Jackass fans?
Yeah, I am.
You are?
Yeah.
That's Ron, now. He's not talking about your friends. He's not talking about the people that are your friends. He's talking about the show.
Oh, it's not still on, right? It's
no. It hasn't been on for probably at least 10 years or more.
Okay. Now, what are your feelings on this? You invite a guest on your show. He says, whatever your thing is, whether it's porn, whether it's gambling, whether it's, I don't know, whatever your kink is, whatever your vice is. And they say, could you please not do that while we talk, because I'm recovering.
Like Louis C.K., could you please not masturbate in front of me during the interview?
Yeah, that.
Okay.
What would you say? Oh, well, it's not worth it. I'm just gotta.
R. Kelly, could you please not piss on minors while we're on the show?
Now, Mar is definitely in the wrong. I mean, he's a guest of your show that you'd want on, and then take this stance that I gotta smoke. It's like
I can't live without it for 2 hours.
Well, we don't know that he said he can't live without it. It may be a contractual thing where he's like, it's a brand and it's like it's like a product placement, and he has to place the product in his lungs so that he can get paid.
Have you ever out there in the wilds of YouTube? There is. Do you know the comedian Tim Heidecker?
Yeah.
He probably about maybe at least about 6 months ago, maybe less, he actually put out a parody of Club Random with him and Fred Armisen, and Tim plays Bill Maher, and it is fucking such a spot on parody of that podcast. It's brilliant.
Wow. I'm not a big fan of Maher. I sat next to him once on an airplane in 1997, first class. It was all I had. Believe I didn't want first class. That was the only thing available. But the front of the plane, and he was on one side of the aisle and I was on the other side of the aisle, and he didn't want to talk, and I knew he didn't want to talk, so I kept talking to him. And he was still on ABC at that time, and I just drove him crazy. Like I think he was ready to ask the flight attendant if he could move his seat or move my seat or get rid of that guy. I don't like him. I didn't even know about Club Random until like 6 months ago. I wasn't aware he'd been doing it that long.
Yeah.
But he's a dick. He's a total dick, man.
Well,
Well,
that's actually the reason I don't do his shows, because he won't stop smoking pot for that short period of time, because my sinuses, it'll swell up and then my voice changes and all of a sudden I start sounding like this, and not even on purpose,
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I smoked pot in front of you. Nothing happened. Nothing happened to you.
Well, that's because we have this little pot partition between us.
What
If
is
you
the
remove that partition,
What is the Politipod contributor? Is that what you call yourself on Politipod?
That's the shortest thing I could think of to fit in that little square. I'm actually a lot more than just a contributor at Politipod. I'm actually a writer, and I do voice acting when I need to.
Voice acting?
Yeah, when I need to. Like I act like I have a voice.
What is that? Oh yeah, okay. So is it just you left it up there because of the reels that are out there, and now you are
Well,
ashamed to be known as G.D. Fenderson? You don't want people.
No, it's just that I decided to because they actually release a new episode every 2 weeks. And this is just my way of like promoting the fact that they released one last night and it's out there.
So we're giving them a free commercial. What do you get? You're getting money out of it. You're getting money.
No, I don't get money out of it. I get the same amount of money out of them as I do out of you.
Wow, you're getting rich.
I know. At this rate, I could retire broke. I'll be broke before. I will no longer be poor. I'll just be broke.
You can retire at 97 and you'll have 11 days of financial freedom.
I'm talking serious YouTube dollars.
You guys don't get all this Bitcoin crap, do you? Because lately, now this has to be a fucking scam, of course.
You mean like with Sam Bankman-Fried going to jail for 25 years? Kind of scam?
As you know me, I've got all these fucking marketing apps, and once you do something, the internet finds out you like it, and then they bombard you with offers for things like that. So every day I've been getting this app that mines Bitcoin for you. The app, it costs $17, but like with every app that they pitch, once you go to leave the site, they'll offer you a $3 discount. So it's a $14 app at that point. But it promises it will mine Bitcoin for you for free. In the first day, you're guaranteed to make $1,200 worth of Bitcoin by just plugging in this app and hitting the go button for $14. And it's like, well, if that were true, obviously it's not. It's got to be a scam. But if it were true, that would bankrupt or completely crash Bitcoin forever, because then it would have no value at all. If anybody could just mine it by clicking a button, there would be no value to it all, and the whole thing would go. But every day I'm getting like 1,000 offers for that.
Well, you're probably a millionaire and you don't even know it.
Well, of course. I mean, my uncle in Nairobi left me $1 billion recently. I didn't even know I had a.
Was that your uncle?
Yes, that was my uncle.
Oh.
What I find funny about Bitcoin is people will tell you, like, I don't trust the US dollar because it's not backed by anything. It's no longer backed by gold. And then they'll be like, hey, how much in Bitcoin do you have?
Right.
Well, the American dollar is backed by God. It's got his name all over it, okay? And you can't get better than that. I don't see God's name anywhere on Bitcoin.
Let me see. How many? I don't know. Backed. I know in God we trust. In God we trust is on
right,
there.
And it's God Banking Trust.
It said all over. I think I see it once on here.
Well, the rest of it is just like God. It's invisible. But it's God Banking Trust, and you can't get better than that.
Yeah, I think it's only on here once.
That you can see.
Federal.
How many germs are on your hand?
Oh,
you know way
too many.
How much bacteria is on your hand?
Way too much. Way too much.
God is like
I can't count them all. That's how many.
God's like a bacteria on a dollar bill. You can't see them all. Pokemon.
Right. but yeah, I don't know. I've kind of wavered on uh, crypto in general. It's because when it first came out, I was like, my wife was like really wanting to get into it, and I was like, I don't know, it feels like scammy. It feels scammy. You tell me that they're mining this stuff, but there's no mine. There's no real mine there. It's a computer is making it up, and it's really hard for me to wrap my head around a Bitcoin mine, which is really
I
just a really supercomputer that runs hot.
when you said crypto, I thought this whole time we were talking about Superman's dog. I am so sorry. I'm on the wrong page.
Yeah, money,
Yeah.
money. But here's the thing, though. Maybe I shouldn't even just jinx myself. But my wife quit her job in October, late October. She's been living off her Bitcoin investing up and down and uh, doing well with it. So who am I to say uh, it's no good? You know what? If you can live off it, you can make money buying and selling, trading it, and not have to do anything else.
You
I'm all
must be
for it.
making a fortune off those NFTs then.
She's not doing NFTs. Uh, non-fungible what is not what non
Non-fungible token.
oh tokens. I thought
Black
tangible.
people. You're black people that you can't sell.
Um, Now is there a marketplace for NFTs like a stock market,
Maga
but
World.
a
Maga
like
World
a
is a Maga World is the biggest market for NFTs.
what is it
Yeah, I
called?
don't know. I don't
Maga
know if they're
World.
as big as they used to be or were for like 5 minutes, but I think they're still kind of floating out there. It's just
Wow.
who
Uh,
wants them?
right. Well, I don't know. This is what I would love to see what's being offered in that because people were talking about music being NFTs. Like, what makes it a collectible? Yeah, like a song comes out, you want it to be played on the radio. You want it everywhere. You don't want it to be like keep the song to yourself.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
That it was hot for like a white hot minute, and then it kind of disappeared because I think people were like, "Why am I going to pay $1,000 for something that's only in my email or on my computer?"
right. You know, every time Jackie is connected lately, we've had connection problems with him. And he starts on his tablet, can't get it to work, and he fumbles around with it, and then he has to go to his phone. I should just text him.
Then he
Maybe you
winds
should
up on
start
his
with your
toilet. Eventually, he winds up on the toilet.
Oh,
maybe you should
hey,
just start
hey,
with your phone.
I have two AI videos today. I,
Oh, good.
I have it. I
I
have
did one about him, but go ahead.
I got like a 30-second commercial, and I got one that's maybe another minute for a new barbecue place that's opening.
Oh,
Now, Matt, I tried to talk Ron down from his new addiction last night. I tried to do an intervention last night
why?
because I could see him scratching, going, "Gotta get some more AI.
I
Gotta
I
get
like
AI.
that I've
Gotta
gotten him
get
like
AI."
he's gonna end up in AI rehab because of me. I like
Yes,
that.
he's gonna be sitting there and say, "So, Mr. Kane, what exactly are you in here for?" He goes like, gotta get the AI. Gotta get AI.
I'm glad you mentioned that though.
Mr. Mark, could you please stop doing the pot while we're talking to Ron about his addiction?
Let me see if I can find this now. I knew I should have put it in a folder by itself. Damn it! We'll get to Ron's AI stuff. I did the one on Jackie, but we have specials for our customers, our audience, if they want to get involved uh, in video. If I could just find it, they just sent me the specials for the. And you know what? There's more than what we just see too. When you go to the site, you basically see the video script generator, but they also have templates. You can do slideshow creators, just voiceover stuff. Uh, I did. They had a whole bunch of stuff that I did not even know existed on there. Maybe if I just put in video up here, it'll just come up, right? Because that's the way these computers work. You kids with your fancy computers. Um, Oh yeah. So in video AI, we have a code for in video people. The link is I'll put it in the description. AI. Yeah, I should put this. Let's see here in the chat room there. This thing that. Oh no, that should have an I in front of it. Damn it! I suck. It's that one.
So let's ask AI, why does Matt suck?
In video AI. Oh yeah, we could do that one later today.
But it
In
won't
video
do it. It won't say
AI.
suck. It'll ask why you're not popular.
In video AI offer 50, and what does that get you? That gets you 50 free AI minutes for the first month of an AI video subscription. Then the same thing, 30% off annual thing is in IV Studio 30, or 25% off monthly plans with IV Studio 25. So there you go. The link for the in video stuff. I should have put it in the description. It's not, but it's over here in the banner stuff. The in video link right here if people want to sign up. Now, Ron, you want to show yours out? Because I was going to wait till Jackie gets here to show my thing that I did for Jackie. It's going to be part of the commercial that I
Okay.
put together.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, these I did not make with the in video because I maxed out my minutes. So, but then I've been playing around because I want to try different things. So,
oh, you're going to start getting offers now from every. You probably get your Bitcoin offers today.
Well, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. So let me.
There's going to be a bidding war for Ron's addiction.
Right? Yeah, I got so many fucking windows open. Here we go. Move this over here. All right. So we'll do the drink commercial first.
Say hello, Steven. Oh, good morning, Steven. Uh-oh.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Wow, listen to that.
We thought you were leaving yesterday. We thought you were going home yesterday. Looks like you're either you're still in the hospital or you dragged a nurse home with you. Again.
Again. By the hair, like a caveman.
Here we go. I'll pull it up here.
Yeah, okay.
Can't decide what to do? Reach for a dilemma, the sports drink for animalistic thirst and tongue bath you've wanted on Earth. Take your pants off and let it flow over yourself. You have the stone, the extract of adrenaline from genetically engineered llamas. When you are driving your car without brakes, will you cry? Will you thirst? Or will you turn to your screaming passenger? Looks like we have a dilemma. Don't question, only question. Dilemma, foot and mouth. Can't decide what to do.
That's it for that one.
Now, before you show the next one, what do you know what the name of the app is? What you're using for that?
Yeah, this one is called I just had it right here.
Mr. Tongue's AI.
No, it's Video GPT.
Oh, Video GPT. All right, I'll look that one up.
Now, this other one is for a barbecue restaurant. So let me
barbecue.
Yeah.
Pork.
Have you ever wanted to bath in Crisco?
Can't decide what to do. Reach for a dilemma, the sports drink for
animals. Now it's flipping out. Here.
What?
I got your text about not bringing
the AI is taking
over. Oh, Zach Galifianakis.
Not bringing up your mic.
Zach Galifianakis. Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, hold on. I got to reshare this. Yeah, no. Like I said, I have so many fucking windows open.
You're all tabbed out.
Yeah.
If Ron has the same issue at home, he goes around naked and opens all the windows.
All right, here we go.
All right. Oh, I gotta add it.
There we go.
Video details.
For those of you who are listening on the radio and don't see this right now, we are looking at the screen.
Click the link where it says YouTube underneath the thumbnail there. Click that link. So it plays.
Are you seeing it?
Yeah, we'll see the page, but we're not seeing the video. You got to click the link for the video underneath the thumbnail there.
Yeah, I did, and it's
on
it's
the
not.
wrong tab. Now you're sharing the
Yeah,
wrong tab.
yeah. This
That was riveting radio. Riveting radio. We're
Yeah,
Ron,
definitely going to get some kind of award for radio.
that was a
for
masterpiece.
Is that your
It's going to
dating
be saved in
profile?
the it's going to be saved in the annals for the longest time. Annals of radio.
Oh, Willie's asking. Willie is at the San Diego airport. He's asking, Mr. Tongues, is that your dating profile handle? Mine used to be Flickin' Magic. I don't know.
all right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
We'll see. Fucking YouTube is terrible.
Fucking.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. Now we'll see it. There we go.
You wear an American flag onesie. Thirdly, we cook you at a slow simmer while my lawyers make you give me power of attorney. What's that smell? That is respect. After you are cooked thoroughly, I will invite my family and we will serve you with Trump wine and cheese, cultivated from the best Russian cheese that I didn't buy. So come down to Slumper's Sausage Pit. We have the biggest smoker in the world. Believe me. Why would I lie about anything?
Why would I lie?
Put this meat in your mouth and reality aside. Like my father always said, if I can't cook and eat you, what's the point? Come on down and we will serve you today. If you have a baby and it can't vote, don't bring it here. I want eligible and tasty voters, especially with those diabetes. So tasty. Have you ever wanted to?
Now you wrote that script.
Yeah.
It's a script to video, not like you're not just giving it like a prompt and saying go find out, go make a video about some fictional barbecue place.
Yeah, I think you can do that, but like I write the script, and that way it's I'm just kind of using the AI and the pictures and stuff it creates.
Are you using any AI script writing tools to help out with that or no?
No.
I use those with AI Talkie.
Okay.
And you can get basically, and they have all these different talking heads that you can make them their mouth move. You can make them, and they look semi-human. They don't look all that real, but
the one thing that's nice about that video GPT is that you can they have like so many different voices in there, like celebrity voices. So you can use all those, so it's great for that.
Well, InVideo has a clone voice, so and I was looking up Morgan Freeman to get some clips of his voice, because you have to record a clip of a voice pretty clean and then put it in there, and then any script you will put in. So why does Matt Napo suck type of thing? I wanted to use Morgan Freeman's voice for that. I'm not sure.
I could just call Morgan Freeman on the phone and ask him. He's in my. Oh, that's I'm using my phone to do this. Never mind.
He's like 180 years old now, too, though.
Yeah.
But what I did notice going out to YouTube, because I was trying to find like something from Shawshank where there's no music behind him, but there's never any point where he's doing that narrative where there isn't some extraneous sounds behind him. But every interview he's done in the last 30 years, people ask him about his voice, and the question they asked him, did you always have that voice? And he goes back to talking about his voice teacher at Los Angeles Community College. So, but he tells the same story to everybody. Larry King, Conan, Letterman, everybody wants to talk about. Did you always ask him the same question? Did you always have that voice?
Obviously, he was born with it. As soon as the doctor smacked him, He
said no. He said it was much higher. He had to bring his voice, intentionally bring his voice down in register, but work hard at it, because it was like this. It was like Jordan Peterson. Like,
actually, he used to sound like RFQ. He used to sound like RFQ.
Music makes me cry.
But a few months was living with Denzel Washington, hanging out with Denzel to straighten him out.
Yeah. Stephen, what's going on with you? Are you home or are you in the hospital?
I am home.
See that?
So who was that person that looked like a nurse behind you walking?
My mother-in-law.
And she dresses
Mother-in-law.
like a nurse often. Does she also wear a maid's outfit for you? What's the deal with that?
Listen, man. What happens in Fart Wayne stays in Fart Wayne.
Yep, that's what I've
So,
always heard.
but
I
no,
wonder,
actually, those were her PJs.
you know what would shock me if Jackie was a no-show? No.
That would blow up my bookie.com because Jackie's never been
You know
no
what? I
show for
should
the
probably
show.
play the commercial before he gets here for my bookie, but he sent me pictures of dirt. Ready for the crop of 2024, but he's not going to be out there planting today. It's going to be snowing today. Not going to be planting the crop of 2024 today. But it's not like him to not respond. I just told him maybe you should use your phone instead of the iPad because you've had trouble. No response.
I should have taken pictures of the bulbs that I planted while I was on the show last, wherever it was, fall, or whenever I planted them.
What? Oh, the
Remember,
bulbs?
I was doing a show for my garden, and I was planting bulbs.
That's what you said you were
beautiful.
doing. We thought you were doing something with I don't know, a body.
Well, the
or
bulbs
something.
are in.
A
I have
body.
to remove some because I was planting the bulbs where they were fixing the well, and so a lot of the dirt got displaced. I have bulbs still willy nilly from where they had all the dirt. So I got.
Did you say willy nilly?
Yeah, willy nilly.
Oh.
Willy nilly.
So you planted it at an airport?
As a matter of fact, I did. It was like a runway. It was like a Die Hard 6, but instead of them following the fire, they followed the tulips down the road, down the runway until they get to the
There
flower
are tulips in the garden. There are tulips in the park.
And stay tuned as our new segment, Old Man Gardening, continues.
Oh, you got to get a good hoe.
Hold my bulbs.
Good hoe. Having a good hoe is not underrated. You need a good hoe to do good gardening.
Speaking of good hoes, Steven sitcom just popped back in. Good hoe. Earthquake in Taiwan. Did you know about the earthquake in Taiwan? Big earthquake in Taiwan.
I saw that. That's yesterday.
Is it yesterday? Not today. This morning?
Well,
you're up late. That's what it is, right?
I was up late.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's tomorrow. We're supposed to have John Dangerfield. I told you, somebody wrote to me, John Dangerfield, and I didn't know who it was. It turns out it's that Jake Cattell, the sideways guy in the corner with the OBS stuff, the guy who's facing that way or that way or something. He sends me an email from an account that says John Dangerfield for a request on the show. It doesn't say it's him. Doesn't say it's the same guy. Then I figured it out because he confirmed by sending from another email address that says Lenny, like Lenny Bruce's.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a weird guy. Now, I wanted to ask Jackie about this when he gets here because Jackie's the guy who got him on this program. I think he wants to be like a regular contributor, but I mean, let me know who the hell I'm booking on here because people just say I approve it without even really doing any research, which is probably
again.
Yeah. Again.
At some point, I'm gonna stop blaming the people for not showing up and start blaming you for not researching these people.
Well, you can blame me all you want, but still, you know what? They still should show up.
No, they should. Not if they're fictitious or irresponsible.
They're not fictitious. They're just
John Dangerfield,
or they're making up stories about emergency rooms or
like Steven did.
Yeah.
I mean,
know,
he
man.
really went.
He went all the way though. He went and hired a
did.
nurse. He got like a hospital room.
Listen,
background.
it cost me roughly $30,000 more to hire the nurse and to build the set than it did to actually go to the hospital. But you know what? I felt bad for not coming to the show, and that was my excuse.
Right.
Well, it was worth it. It was worth it, man. That was like the best AI shit I've seen since day before yesterday.
Well, like I said, well, like I told Ron on his post, when I grow up, I want to be just like him. So I thought I'd go in on the AI and see what happens.
Can't ever be just like him. No one could ever be just like him. Look,
well, he's legs above me, so
I'm doing what I can.
He's head and penis above you,
at least.
Now, Mr. Politipod, Clarence Thomas is trending. Do you know why?
I guess he's done something else illegal, or disreputable.
You
or
guess.
that he should be.
So you don't know. I don't know. I'm just. You just guessed, and that would be a good guess. But I was kind of hoping, he died.
Well, when you
listen.
say trending, I don't look at things that are trending. I don't, because it could be trending for any reason. It may not be worth my time.
Yeah, generally, when things are trending, I think the people died. Like especially if it's a celebrity or something.
We could hope.
Died or done something really bad.
Yeah.
Well, in his case, it had to be really, really, really bad, because he's already done really bad and really, really bad. So, maybe he let something leak about the Supreme Court decision. Who knows? Like I said, he's a wad. He's a real dickwad.
Right. Being a dickwad is not a reason to be trending, because if that was a reason to be trending, I'd be trending. Why am I not trending? I should be trending. Anyway,
I think if Christian Visibility Day is trending right now, then the dog should be trending.
All right. I did not know that we had more visibility days on the calendar. How do you get a visibility a day on the calendar?
That's a good question. I jumped into Twitter's trending, and it's it's number 12 on trending right now.
Let me quickly play commercials, and then we're gonna bring Jackie in. But you guys bet? Did you guys bet? When's the next game? When's the next big game? When's the next big showdown?
I think it's tonight.
This weekend.
Soon.
Yeah, let's go to our sports guy, Ron.
That was the Coffee with the Dog sports report. On the big March Madness in April report, here is our senior sports correspondent, Ron Kane. Ron, take it away.
Hey, I want to tell you, if you are suffering from bracketology, please go get a shot tonight. But the next games coming up are Saturday. First one at 6:09.
So it's gonna be Saturday, Sunday, then Monday. They wait all week.
No, just Saturday. Hey, listen, I'm the one suffering from bracketology, Matt. It looks like the games are Saturday. North Carolina State versus Purdue versus Alabama versus UConn. So get your bracketology shots.
So then they take Sunday off, and then Monday is the big final.
I said this weekend. Yeah. I said this weekend.
Yeah. All right. Well, in case you don't know who to bet for, my bookie has you know what? You get up to you could still get up to $1,000 sign-up bonus. Do it today. Here you go.
The experts at MyBookie have created the ultimate NCAA March Madness betting guide to help you make the best bets throughout the tournament. Throughout this betting guide, the pros will go in depth on the best teams, players, and bets throughout the entire NCAA March Madness tournament. 2024 March Madness 85th edition of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Tournament tips off Tuesday, March 19th to Monday, April 8th, 2024. Go to mybookie.com/minddog and get up to $1,000 welcome bonus.
Hey, are you there? Are you there?
Yeah.
No, you're not there. Something I made with AI last night. I asked AI. All I said was Jackie Martling, the man who made Howard Stern funny. And here is the clip. Let me share the clip. It came up with the hidden genius.
We're diving into the world of Jackie the Jokeman Martling, the unsung hero behind Howard Stern's comedic genius. A master of wit, Jackie was the secret ingredient that spiced up the iconic morning radio program. Now imagine a painting without its colors, a song without its melody. That was the Howard Stern Show without Jackie. He was the unseen puppeteer, pulling strings of hilarity that kept listeners hooked. Jackie's quick quips, sharp one-liners, and infectious laughter were the show's backbone, the uncredited source of countless chuckles.
The fans may not have known, but his contribution was as vital as oxygen to a flame.
Oxygen to a
So
flame.
here's to Jackie, the jokeman Martling, the man who made Howard Stern funny, the unsung maestro of mirth. His laughter echoes on, a testament to the joy he spread.
Now,
Remember, behind every great joke, there's a great jokeman.
I don't like the fact that they made him sound like he was dead.
I was about to say, it sounds like a eulogy.
Hey, I had nothing to do with that. You better tell people. I had nothing to do with that.
No, they know it's AI. It's my AI. We're getting. By the way, Ron Kane and Stephen, sitcom Ortiz meet Jackie Marley. Ron Kane is now addicted to AI. I got him hooked, and so I've been playing with that a lot lately. But I didn't ask it to do an English accent, Jackie the Jokeman Mutton. I was like,
but AI created that whole thing.
Yeah. In 30 seconds, basically, I said, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, the man who made Howard Stern funny, and then it just went out to the internet, and got pictures, got whatever, and
it's kind of scary because for somebody like me who knows very little about Jackie, if I just would have came across that in the wild, I would have thought that was true.
It is all true.
It's depending your point of view, I certainly was a big help, but I didn't make him by it,
No, obviously.
I don't want people thinking I wrote that. Jesus, that's scary.
No, nobody, believe me, people know that's an AI thing. But the fact that it knew about the laughter stuff, I guess probably just there's articles talking about your high-pitched laugh that happens all the time. It knew about the fact that the fans were kind of oblivious to you slipping them notes and all that stuff. Yeah, that's gotta give AI some, and that's now. Imagine 5 years from now what it's gonna be able to do.
Jesus.
Before we go too much further, you have a Q&A at the Bolton Center for the Performing Arts on Friday night. Now, is that sold out?
No, I have no idea how well we're doing because the guy who's running it was out in California marrying his daughter. Well, he didn't marry her, but he did. Guido did the ceremony, and but we're doing the screening the movie with a bunch of cartoons before it, which is fun. Joke cartoons, and then a nice long Q&A. I have no idea if it's going to be empty or if we're packed. I always like to be surprised,
Wow. Because it's kind of a big room. I mean, it's much bigger than the room that the last Q&A at the.
No, it's a huge place. It's
yeah,
a little ballsy to try and do it there, but what are you going to do?
Right. Now, Ron had his first show at Soul Joel's last weekend. Are you on the calendar for Soul Joel's anymore in the near future?
Yeah, but I booked it a while ago, so I got to actually look. But it's
we didn't even get a chance to ask Ron how did that experience go, Soul Joel's? I'm told it's a great room. Everybody who plays it says it's a fabulous room, and the people are really receptive and all that stuff. How did your gig go there?
My set went pretty good. I wish it would have went better. I thought my energy was not that great that night.
Because you wasted it all on this show.
Yeah, no, it was just one of those nights. I didn't feel like I started out of the gate quickly. So, but I didn't bomb, so that's good. But I think I could have done better.
But the room was great. You're on there when, Jackie? You just left.
I'm on there for Saturday, June 8th. The last time I was there, I made a ton of money, and it was one of the best shows I've ever had. They were packed in, and they were so great. They really are. It's in the middle of nowhere that when you pull up there, you're like, who the hell is ever going to find this place? And once you get to the place, it's hard enough to find, but it's incredible. There's a huge old ballroom for dancing they have all the posters of when they used to have, Louis Armstrong and Cab Calloway and all these incredible bands. And
all the guys who were in the Long Island Music Hall of Fame.
the guys who were dead before the guys who started the Hall of Fame were born. And it's still a huge, beautiful room with a shiny wooden dance floor. It's just amazing.
Wow.
And then you go to this little shitty room in the back where the comedy club is. But it's great. It's great because they're all packed in and the sound system's good. And Joel's a good guy. And so that's Saturday, June 8th. You know, I think it's sold out last time. So get your tickets now.
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask you, Jackie? Can I ask you an unrelated question? You had a
Hey,
guitar.
how you doing?
I'm doing
You were
great,
there,
man.
right?
Huh?
You were
No,
there at the show.
you went to Soul Joel?
I was at the show. Yeah. You were
So
fantastic.
am I lying or was it good? It was
No,
a good
you
show.
were fantastic. You were fantastic. Now, my question is: you had a guitar. Did you wind up selling it, and did you get your new mattress that you wanted?
Oh, that Strat that you had.
I have not sold it, but I have an offer on the table for 25 grand. And some people say, no, you can get much more than that. And other people are like, take it, Jesus Christ, take it. Because it's not in good shape. It's not in good shape, you know.
I'm a terrible financial advisor, but I would have jumped at that. I would have said, yeah, take it. 25 grand. I can buy 10 Strats. And
other people say, you know, the thing has been sitting in the case right over here now. But it's been sitting in the case in the basement or wherever for 40 years. And people say, why would you want to not still have that? I said, well, I wouldn't even know if I didn't still have it. I haven't seen it. I took it out of the case the other day just to make sure it was still there. You know, so it's not a big deal. I mean, the memories are incredible, but, you know, a guy just about wrecked it in college. So, you know, he got rid of the wrecked old sunburst finish and replaced it with this brown finish.
Oh.
So the finish is a lot nicer, but the sunburst is gone and the tremolo arm is long gone and screwed in, you know. So if it was in a guitar like mine in perfect shape, it's like $45,000 or $50,000, you know.
Right.
But
and you bought it for $250 or something like that off the shelf, off the rack.
I swear I could almost remember it was like I think it was like $239 with the case, if I remember right.
Hard shell case.
Hard shell case. You know, it's funny because I got a job in high school working at a country club, and I made some money. I mean, make tiny amounts of money, like paychecks were like $8.80 or $16 and for, you know. And I saved up my money. I said, come on, Pop, let's go to Sam Ash. I'm going to buy a guitar. I went there and I walked in. I saw the Stratocaster. I said, hey, guy, that's a guitar I want. I want to buy it on time. How much do I give you? And he laughed. He said, on time? You're out of your mind. This is cash or carry. So I walked out of there with my tail between my legs and went home and worked for a couple more months till I saved up the $240 or whatever. And boy, you talk about pride, walking out of that store, carrying that guitar in the case. Oh my God.
See that,
like
kids? That's it. You kids, forget about credit. You work hard, you save your money, and you buy cash, and you walk out of there. It's a character building experience.
And the next weekend or 2 weekends later, we were having a bunch of us from a bunch of different groups. We're going to this guy's house in Center Island, and we're going to play and have a great time. And of course, we drank some beer. And I took out my brand new Stratocaster, and everybody was drooling. And I put it on, and I attached the strap to the end with my left hand, and I didn't attach the back. So I attached it, and then and the thing not only fell and bounced, but it was plugged in with the volume on. So you heard it. You heard it bounce and of course there was an amazing chunk out of it. And I, you know, but that was the first ding. It's like when you have a brand new car, you know, when you first get your first chunk out of it, you know.
Yeah. I you know what? I love that experience of bringing a new guitar, but sometimes you do run into some surprises if you haven't really had time to work it out at home, and really you're sitting in with the band for the first time with the guitar, and then you realize, wow, those pickups are really hot, or the pickup switch is really hot, or whatever. There's always something that you find out on the gig, and it's like, shit, I should have practiced with this at home.
Or learn the settings and learn the difference in the settings, and but I was one of those guys that actually set the guitar between the middle and the high thing, where there was a place where you could just kind of there was a sweet spot where you could set it, and you could get both pickups and get a really, really nice clangy sound. And then in the later Stratocasters, they wound up making it a 5-part switch.
Right.
And that stop was an actual stop on the three-way switch became a 5-way.
Right. You used to have to get it like stuck in between or something.
Right between.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool.
Lesson for the kids out there with the Stratocaster history. Go ahead.
Jackie, did you ever get the new mattress then? Because you were going to sell. One of the offers was you could have the guitar for a mattress, for a new mattress. Did you get the mattress then if you didn't have sold the guitar?
You got the stains.
I still have a bad back, and I really need a new mattress. My mattress is like
I think for $25,000 you could buy a decent mattress.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I've checked mattress prices. I think a new mattress is like $30,000 now.
Holy crap!
No, the prices are. You get a mattress and you get a bed and you get the whole thing, and it's so all over the place. I don't want one of these things where you number your sleep, or it programs, or I just want to lie in bed and go to sleep, for Christ's sakes.
You got back problems? But doesn't your swimming in the not your
it's my the left side of my hip. I don't know what it is. I went to the doctor finally the other day, and I was hoping he was going to say, listen, man, if you lose 25 pounds, it'll all disappear. And then that would force me to lose weight. And he said, nah. He said, nah, your weight had nothing to do with it. I said, don't tell me that. Jesus Christ, I'm paying you good money to tell me to lose weight.
But when you move on stage, when you were moving on stage, was your back bad then? Because I couldn't tell.
No. Once you're on stage, hey,
you don't feel anything.
After I had my knee operation, I was still walking with a cane, and I went to do a gig, and I went to go up on stage, and I leaned my cane somewhere to adjust something, and I completely forgot about my cane. I did my whole show. Once you're up there, it's a different world.
Yeah, man.
Universe. Once you hit the stage, all bets are off.
I had severe sciatica in 2015, and we were gigging 5 nights a week, and I basically couldn't walk, but somehow I would get myself to the gig. I'd lay on the stage, and when when showtime came, I would start sitting down. Halfway through the first song, I'd get up, and I'd feel no pain for 4 hours until we were done, and then as soon as we were done, the pain would come back. But
I know. I actually was in Las Vegas, and I was like using a walker, and Steve Sharippa, the guy who wound up on The Sopranos, was the entertainment director, and he actually took me through the kitchen in a golf cart, or a small golf cart, like they used to take Elvis, and I was yelling to the staff, and I was singing "Love Me Tender" and stuff, being an asshole. And I got to the stage, and once he loaded me on stage, I was fine. You don't even know it. That happens with everybody, like Henny Youngman and Rodney and people like that. Red Skelton, they look like they're about to die, and all of a sudden they say, and here is Rodney Dangerfield. The lights go on, and boom, it's like Popeye eating spinach. You know what I mean? It's like instantaneous, that's why we do this, that's why we do it.
So sleep on the stage. Get rid of the mattress and sleep on the stage.
Fucking mattress.
So now you like the meet and greet after the show. People come up to you and spend time with you. So, but because I was bitching and moaning about how comedians have it easy. You go on, you do an hour, and you're off. I'll do a 4-hour show, but after 4 hours, I'm like, somebody wants to talk to me. Like, talk to Mikey. He's the politician. Well, you know what? He's the. But you enjoy that meet and greet stuff. You enjoy hanging.
Well, I really do, especially because I've been around so long. People come up to me, and, most of the people, I like John Howard Stern show 10, 20, 50, 1,000 years ago. But I love people coming up and say, I used to see your band at Rum Runners. I used to see your band at my father's place. And people that remember you from 30 or 40 years ago, or from really obscure other stuff, or you used to bang my college roommate. You know, I never get sick of those stories, and it's always fun, you know. And so many people like, do you remember me? And they'll have some weird story. And if there's anything to the story at all, of course I remember them.
Did he ever bang any of your roommates?
Who's?
You guys up there? Did he ever bang any of your roommates? I think he banged my roommate.
I think I got most of them. Jesus. So fun. So fun.
Tomorrow, the guy Jake Cattell, who you hooked me up with, he's going to be on again. But he kind of did it sneaky. He's been on twice already, and I thought
I know nothing. Tell me about this guy. I know nothing.
I thought he was your friend. That's why I booked him.
I liked him because he sent me. He wrote a book about odd characters, not odd comedians, but odd situations of when guys worked in Miami Beach and the area. And I love that stuff because I have such great stories about a couple of those guys. Like did I tell you the Don Geronimo's, not Don Sebastian story? Do you know that?
John Sebastian Love and Spoonful?
No, Don Sebastian.
Oh no, I don't even know.
A million years ago, Morton Downey Jr. had me and Otto and George and Stephen Pearl, a very funny comic from from San Francisco. We were all in the Comedy's Dirtiest Dozen movie. And there might have been one other guy, and they had us on. Mort had us on. He was a fan. He used to come to Governor's. He bought all my stuff. He's such a madman. Are you old enough to remember him?
Mm-hmm.
So he has us on the show, and on the other side of the argument was Freddie Roman and Stewie Stone and Don Sebastian. And the argument is, why do you guys have to work dirty? Now, Otto and George were filthy. Stephen Pearl's filthy. I was filthy. And the whole thing was, it's not necessary to be dirty to be funny. And they said, listen, say or do whatever you want. We'll just bleep whatever. That's how Morton Downey liked to roll. And I'm pretty sure it's on the internet right now. I don't know if it ever actually aired on TV. Somebody said it did. I don't know. So, meanwhile, this guy, Don Sebastian, used to work in a place in Hollywood, Florida, called the Aztec Lounge, which was a little hole in the wall, like Neptune's Pub or the Right Track Inn, one of those, only in Hollywood, Florida. Wow. And he did what I did. He recorded his shows of dirty jokes and sold them to his crowd. And my roommate in 1976 went down to Miami Beach with his father. They went every year to Florida. And they went to see Don Sebastian at the Aztec Lounge and bought Don's album. And he brought it home to me. And I loved it. I played it. And it was so many great filthy jokes. And I knew 90% of them. But the ones I didn't know, of course, I loved. And that was the first time I heard the joke about, I don't want to tell the whole joke, but the whole thing about the guy who gets real drunk and he throws up all over himself. And he says, oh, my wife's going to kill me. And the bartender says, listen, just tell your wife that you were at the bar and a drunk threw up on you and he felt bad, but he gave you $20 to get your suit cleaned. And he said, that's a great idea. You're a genius. So the next day he goes home and he wakes up in the morning. His wife says, what happened to you last night? He says, oh, I know my suit and my shirt are a mess. It's drunk. Threw up all over me, but he gave me $20 to have my suit cleaned. And she says, well, he should have given you $40 because he's shit in your pants too. Which is a great joke. So here's these three guys telling us, why do you got to work dirty? Why do you got to work dirty? And all of a sudden I'm bloated for bear. And all of a sudden I go, hey, Don, tell me if this is familiar. He should have given you $40 because he's shit in your pants too. And the guy's face went red. I must have been one of the 20 people in the world that had his fucking album. Nobody had that stupid album. Oh God, it was just classic, and he was such a nice guy. But
was he a wrestler?
Freaking,
I think Don Sebastian that comes up as a wrestler movie, B movie.
No, Don Sebastian, Aztec Lounge, I think Hollywood, Florida.
All right. Willie was saying, what did Willie say about a Red Fox special? He saw you. Red Fox hosted your special. Where's Willie? Damn it.
Yeah, Red Fox's Dirty Jokes. With I was on with Dice Clay. Dice says that video is what launched him. And it had nothing to do with me being on it, but it was me and Dice Clay, Robert Schimmel.
Wow.
The last girl that banged Lenny Bruce's last girlfriend before he died. I forget her name. And Ronaldo Ray, who was Red Fox's protege. There were like 6 or 7 or 8 of us. And I remember Paul Provenza was sitting in the front. And I said, "What are you doing here?" He says, "I love your jokes, man. I love to come to these things." And I was on last. And I think I did all right. But there was a couple jokes I did that were like repeatable. Like, it's too long a story, but there was a joke with the punchline, everybody's going to Dallas. And for years, people would see me on the street and they go, "Hey, you going to Dallas? You going to Dallas?" It's really great.
Willie was here in New York, came here on a, to further his career, come to New York, get some time on stage.
I didn't know you guys didn't tell me he was here.
Well, here's the thing. He came here for 5 days. He wanted to spend some time with you, but he had 5 days here. And I was like, there's no point in going to see Jackie. You got 5 days here. You're here. Your mission is to, get some time on stage, network with people, get some gigs and all that stuff. He wanted to go see you.
I don't care about personally. I I was hoping I could maybe help him in some way.
It turns out he spent two of his 5 days in the airport. He ran out of money. He didn't bring enough money for New York. All the transportation and stuff made him broke. So 2 days before his flight, he figured I better go camp out at the airport so I don't miss my flight home. So 2 out of 5 days he spent.
Napo, we would have given him a few dollars. Doesn't he know that?
I did. I drove there. I took him to dinner, but I mean, it's just 48 hours in advance to go to JFK before you.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that Will is not the world's best planner.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not walking around with a calendar and a calculator in his,
Well, yeah. So he didn't plan the. I guess the vacation. It was a workcation, but he didn't plan. He did get a few minutes at Governor's in the belly room. And U.S. Billy's or something like that in Brooklyn. But you know what? He was overwhelmed by Times Square. He was here for St. Patrick's Day. And you know what?
Well, Jesus,
Right.
Now, you might as well walk into the middle of Vietnam in 1968 as to go to Times Square.
Right. That sensory deprivation completely. I mean,
as opposed to 67 or 69. 60.
Whatever.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's the year.
He's an obnoxious bastard, isn't he?
Don't talk about Willie like that while he's not here to defend himself.
I thought he meant me.
Right. I thought, yeah. So this guy Jay Cattell that I found through you, he was on twice, but he's got this like setup where he's just like in a little corner of the screen looking in the opposite direction with never. But he wrote this book, Lenny Flippin' Rickles, about their time in Miami, and then he was on again. We talked about some of that stuff. Then he sent me and I didn't know it was him, a request to be on the show from John Dangerfield. I was like, John Dangerfield? I'm thinking, is he related to Rodney Dangerfield? He said, I want to talk about Miami Babylon Comedy Connection. Okay, so he's going to be on tomorrow, but he didn't tell me it was him again. he's. I only figured it out because when he responded back to "I'll see you Thursday," it was from a completely different email now. Lenny's son, so he's posing as.
I don't think he's underhanded any. I have no kind. Is he old? Is he young?
He's about 40-ish, I think, 41, something like that.
And he seems he's very smart. He's very smart. Or he came across very smart, and I liked what he. I knew 90% of what I read, but what I didn't know, I really enjoyed. About Miami.
Right. He's got as much memorabilia as you do, or like East Side Comedy stubs and like tickets to the East Side Comedy Club. He's sending me all these kind of like stuff with I forget you were on the bill with Rob Bartlett and Bob.
Bob Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson. Yeah, thanks.
Oh yeah, and they spelled Eddie Eddy because it was Nelson and Bartlett and Murphy.
Yeah.
And I think he sent me some ads. I don't know if it's from him, but I have an ad for Zanies in Chicago. It's like a big full page ad that's like
sent me that too.
This week Jackie Martling, next week Jerry Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, right? Yeah.
I was on equal footing with Seinfeld. For 5 seconds.
So I got to tell you this. About 3 weeks ago, we were playing a gig at a restaurant, and myself and the singer went over to the bar to get a drink. And there's two older guys sitting at the bar, and they claiming to be musicians, but they don't gig that much anymore. And guy said something that was really funny. He goes, "Hey, he's got a morning show. You should go on and do some jokes. You're really funny." He said, "I used to do stand-up comedy back in the day," and he starts to tell this story about Richard M. Dixon, and I was like, right away, I was like, I've heard this story a lot from everybody who was ever on stage calling themselves a comedian. Back in 1975, I'm at Richard M. Dixon's, and a guy calls me up. He says, "Listen, I got this kid. He's really funny. I wonder if you can give him a few minutes." It's like, I don't do favors like that. And he's like, "Well, kid's got a lot of promise." And this little black kid comes in, and he's going in and he's doing impressions and stuff. And that kid was Eddie Murphy. Like, I gave Eddie Murphy his first break. I was like, how many and I'm thinking this at the time. I'm thinking, how many comedians told me they gave Eddie Murphy his first shot on fucking stage? And Mikey's like eating it up, and we're walking away, and he goes, "Man, that's some story about Eddie Murphy." I was like, "Yeah, but everybody tells it." Have you heard that story from other people?
I wound up, Dixon's was the first place I went. Dixon's is what launched the whole thing because, not to go back too far, but I bumped into Richie Minervini at my father's place. We introduced each other. He invited me. He said, "Why don't you come to Richard M. Dixon's because you're so funny?" And I was in the process of breaking up with my band, and I went to Dixon's, and it was me and Minervini and Bartlett and Nelson and Bob Woods. I'm just meeting these guys, but they're all meeting each other for the first time because everybody's kind of happening in like it's like late 1978. And then all of a sudden Murphy kind of wound up being there. Now, I don't know who first brought him, whether he heard about it or somebody brought him there. I never even thought about it before, but he wasn't really part of the woodwork yet. So it was, and that's like 1978 or early 79. I don't think Dixon's was around in 75.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But it might have been there for a little while before the comedians started gathering.
Also, in 75, I think Murphy was like 13.
Yeah, no, it was a variety show. And because he was very young. I think he was like 16. It's so funny. I don't have a lot of memory of him. God strike me. I didn't think he was very funny.
Wow.
He just did the Mouth Richard Pryor albums, which I didn't know because I wasn't smart enough to be a big Richard Pryor fan. But what he had was this incredible rock hard cockiness. He was so more self-assured than anybody, and I've seen them all, but I never saw anybody with such self-confidence. But he backed it up. The guy went in for his Saturday Night Live audition, and they took him right away. And Bartlett said when he came back, he said, "Rob, it's so easy. It's so easy. I just go out there and be funny, Rob. It's easy. And he meant it.
Wow.
But I don't know. He didn't come in. He came in with Clint Smith, who was his best friend, still is. But he didn't hang with other comedians or anything like that.
Right.
So anybody could say, hey, I was the guy that met him in the parking lot and walked him in,
Yeah. Now,
So who were
what
the two guys you were talking to? What were their names?
I gotta ask Mikey their name, because they were pissing me off. Because I hate when people like bullshit, try to bullshit and make themselves. There's nothing wrong with saying I tried stand up comedy. I fucking sucked at it and I got out of it.
Yeah, but you got to get the names of people like that. That's very valuable. Every single guy I started with for 45 years, very few people drop out. There's guys that have never gotten a laugh, and it's 40 years later, they're still doing it. I mean, there's a guy teaching a comedy course at the comic strip in Manhattan, and you just can't believe it because you're still waiting for the guy to get his first laugh. It's so funny.
There's also the somebody asked the other day, you make a lot of money in comedy. I was like, you can. If you're Jerry Seinfeld, you can get lucky and make $1 billion. But if you're really good, if you're a really good comedian, you might make as much as like a grade school teacher or something.
It's such a sliding scale.
Yeah, it is. It's
I
very
made
weird.
so much money for such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It's like you're almost like a race, like not Mickey Mantle, but you have a sweet. It's like a championship jockey. You get a couple of great mounts. My buddy's father was a championship jockey, and he won the Triple Crown in 1946, and
Man
he
of
had
War?
on assault, and he had 3 good years, and he made $1 gazillion. And my buddy said since he won the Triple Crown, he has never made. He spent more money every year than he made.
Right.
But he had made so much that he was probably the only jockey in the world that didn't chase whores and drink. And his agent took all the money he made and invested it in AT&T blue chip stock in 1946. Can you imagine? Can
Bitcoin.
you imagine? Oh God, man!
My goodness.
Jesus Christ!
Oh.
So
yeah, I love those stories.
Part of the story is he hated me.
Oh,
he was 5 feet tall, and if he had one beer, he turned. Dwarfs, midgets, little people. They have one beer, they're drunk out of their minds, and I almost jumped across the table and beat his ass at my friend's house one night.
See, you can't win. There's no winning there. If he beats your ass, if you get into a fight with him, you got beat up by a midget. If you beat his ass, you're a bully.
Congratulations. Yeah, it's so funny. Great fun.
The other day, I got an email from a guy who said he heard my conversation with Jackie Martling. I was like, which one? He said, you were talking about Joe Antis. He said, I used to live with Joe after he and Rodney had a falling out. I didn't even know he and Rodney had a falling out. But he said, I love Joe. He was a great guy. Lived with him. And then he started talking about Rodney Dangerfield had a kid who is a superstar music producer, but nobody knows of him because he's like incognito. Do you know anything about Rodney Dangerfield's son, who is is like in the hot, keeping it to himself, like he doesn't want people to know he's Rodney Dangerfield's son?
No, Rodney Dangerfield's son, Brian, his Rodney's daughter is Melanie Roy, Melanie, Melanie
Right.
Roy, and his son is Brian Roy. And Brian lives in Connecticut, and he's been on and off, pretty drunk for a long time. And I've met guys one guy I had lunch with a couple of very good friends, and one of the guys at lunch, it was his next door neighbor, and he's really tight with him. And he said he's such a nice guy, but he has problems. But he said it's so funny. He told me one story where they were out at a bar, and Brian was really sick, and he just threw up on a guy, and the guy was going to beat the crap out of him. And he said it was scary. And they went outside the bar, and then the guy's friend, my friend's friend, said, hey, do you know who this is? This is Rodney Dangerfield's son. And the tide turned completely. And the next thing you knew, they were best friends. You know, that's how the love of Rodney is just so huge. You know, he threw up all over somebody. All right, I don't care. Your father's Rodney.
I really thought you was going to say, and you took him out the parking lot and he shit in his pants.
Yeah, but you know, Rodney loved to talk about Joe. He really loved Joe, and Joe actually, because I didn't see him enough time to call him a really good pal. But I don't even know if I told you a story about that. I had 3 comedy albums when I started out, and my 3rd comedy album, I was about to put it out, and my sister said this expression to me, and I said, "Wow, that is so funny. Where'd that come from?" She said, "I don't know. I just heard it." I said, "I'm going to name my album that." So I'm all ready to name the album, and I've got the album's ready. It's ready to go get pressed. And there's a People magazine article about Rodney. There's a picture, of course, a picture of Rodney in his blue bathrobe, kind of half open. Luckily, you didn't see his whole package hanging there. And every comedian's seen him in his blue bathrobe, and he's there, and it's a whole article about him. It's very nice. And at the very end, there was a quote from Robert Klein, was his very good friend. And at the end, Robert Klein said, "Well, like Joe Ancis always says, normal people are people you don't know that well."
Right.
And I was like, oh my God. And I wrote to Joe at Care Rodney's Club. I said, "Joe, it's Jackie. I'm ready to name my album Normal People are People You Don't Know That Well." And I saw in People magazine that quote attributed to you. Is it original quote? And if it is it okay if I use it for the name of my album? And if this is annoying to you, just tell me to go fuck myself. And I still have the card. I can send you the scan of the card. Jackie, yeah, it's an original quote. Yeah, you can use it. And go fuck yourself anyway.
I think you sent me that.
I'm sure I sent you that.
Yeah. But this guy, so he heard our conversation about Joe Ancis, and he wanted to educate me, but he's got a book out since 2015 about all this stuff. He said, "I don't want to plug the book because we're making a movie out of it." It's very cryptic. It's like
I've never heard this guy's name before. You know, I told you I was in communication for a while with Tony. Did I tell you that?
No.
Rodney's original partner from Dangerfields, Tony
He's got to be 100 years old.
Vivacqua, I think he's like 93. He's such a good guy. Elizabeth has as sharp as a tack. Of course, he wants to make a movie. And how come people wouldn't jump on that? I have no idea. But I've never heard. And I know at some point, Joe Ancis's kids got in touch with me or through somebody else because they were doing some kind of story. I don't know. But that guy, the name you said, I don't remember ever hearing. You know, Rodney loves stories about that. You know what him and Joe used to do for fun? Rodney had a housekeeper, I think her name was Thelma, a little Jamaican girl who loved to watch the game shows. And when nobody was home at Rodney, she would sit there and watch the game shows and scream and yell and cheer. And Rodney and Joe would stand outside the room with the door cracked open a little and watch her watch the game shows. I'm like, here's the most famous comic in the world. This is how he gets his hoot, him and his big buddy watching this poor little black woman scream, like, you know, take door number 3, take door number 3. You know, oh, that's just.
I would appreciate that too. But I wanted to find, because this guy, it was so weird. He says he's going to want, the movie's about to wrap up, and when the movie is done, he wants to come on the program and talk about the movie.
They're actually making this movie?
It's in post-production. He said, you know.
Is it on IMDb?
I don't know. I'm trying to find where this guy is so I can see what he actually said to me. So it's like,
what's the name of the movie?
You Got Me. You Got Me.
That's a strange one. Is there like a take on You Got Mail?
Switch now. No, it's not. I don't know what the name of the movie is. Where is it? I'm not. I don't want to read because it seemed like I was being sworn to an NDA with this
You know,
email.
Napo, you're always doing your homework in class.
I
You know,
know.
you
I
should
know.
be doing this stuff in advance. You know,
I know
like
that.
hide your head behind the guy in front of you so you can do your homework in class so you don't have to get drunk.
He says there's some woman he calls the leech who basically body slammed everyone around her post Rodney's death. It's not that I'm afraid because that I'm not. It's just we are heading into the finish of our film, and once the film is done with, he'll talk to me more about it. But Rodney had no problems with Joe after that, but apparently they had a falling out. I didn't know about it.
Well, I'm sure it would have been over the woman. Like Rodney, the woman that he married, really separated Rod. I was long far away from him, and I didn't know anything. But the girl Joyce, was it Joyce? I think that maybe that was his first wife's name. But the woman that he married that owned the flower shop in Las Vegas, really, separated him and separated him from his kids. Like after Rodney died, he left his daughter Melanie a great copy of his act, a great video copy of his act. And Rodney's wife blocked Melanie from being able to use it or sell it or air it, and then they did a thing on, somebody told me they did a whole thing on one of those shows where it's like almost You Bet, This Is Your Life, but something like that, American Masters or something. And his wife, his widow, was one of the executive producers. And then once it was done, she sued to keep them from using it. I guess she's a real odd duck and just pissed everybody. Now I could see that would make sense for her to be a wedge between Rodney and Joe,
Ralphie's saying that they used to call this guy Bobby the Bear. The guy we're talking about, his first name is Bobby. So I don't know. I don't know where he got that from. Willie said, I would bet anything that if he reaches out to Bert's people about doing Kill Tony together, Tony likes to have first-time panel members. You don't even know what Kill Tony is, do you?
What?
Kill Tony. Willie wants to get you on Kill Tony. Willie, who got you on Bert's podcast, wants to get you on Kill Tony. Kill Tony is
I still owe Will for getting me on Bert, and I wound up doing another guy's who was I guess the same as Bert. Like he really
Brendan.
used,
I hooked you up with that. Brendan Walsh.
Yeah, he was great. Oh, I had a great time with him.
Yeah.
Brendan Walsh.
Yeah.
What's Kill Tony? I have no idea.
Kill Tony is a podcast done in a club. It used to be at the Comedy Store. Now it's done at Austin. I don't think it's a mothership.
It's at the mothership.
Yeah.
It is?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, it's like a open mic. People put their name in a hat. You get called up. You get to do 1 minute in front of a panel of professional comedians and in front of the audience. You got 1 minute to kill Tony, and then they rip you apart and basically critique your. But a lot of people, not a lot, but some people have used that to propel their career. Because there's a billion comedians now, so everybody is signing up for that thing. But Willie's he's suggesting that you be on the panel with Bert, because Bert is sometimes on that panel. I don't know. Willie wants to be your manager, I think this is what we have with Willie. He wants to manage.
Well, by getting me on Bert, he did more for me than anybody else has ever done.
He got you a 3-week stay at LaGuardia. They have a nice coffee shop there you could visit, maybe a bookstore. There is a tour of the bookstore, I believe now.
We have such an odd business. The last place in the world I would ever expect to be fun to do, to have a good audience, and to make money at would have been Soul Joel's in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. These other clubs, like Governors, me and Bales worked Governors at 7:00 on a Saturday night. We worked the brokerage, and the 8:00 show was a bringer show.
Yeah.
Where you have to bring people. It was the headline show of the weekend. The 8:00 or 9:00 show at Governors but they won't hire. They don't want to hire a headliner and pay him. They just want to put, they'll put a donkey on stage just to sell drinks and food, which is, that's been the way of the world since entertainment began. But still, it just,
You ever
some semblance.
You ever see Plapo as an opening act? Plapo is where they have bingo. It's duck shit bingo is what it is, basically. They have a bingo board. It's a true story. The guy was an opening act for a lot of comedians. A bingo board laid out on the stage, and the duck would walk around, and wherever the duck shits, that's the winning number. That was an opening act for Plapo for a lot of comedians for about 10 years. I don't know where that guy is now, but
when I went out to Austin, I opened up for. I was on the bill with Willie Nelson and Asleep at the Wheel, and Willie Nelson's daughter and Kathy Guthrie, Arlo Guthrie's daughter, have a group called Folk Uke. And we had the greatest weekend, and we want to have a big lunch with Willie Nelson's family, blah, blah, blah. And one night, Willie Nelson's ex, who me and her were kind of hitting it off, we went outside of town and went to some bar in the, just some Texas bar with an incredible band where they had chicken bingo. And it was a cage about, I'd say 3 feet by 3 feet, or maybe 4 feet by 4 feet. And it was laid out like they lay out the boxes for a football pool. And it was like 10 boxes high and 10 boxes across, or maybe 15, whatever it was. And all boxes. And you got to buy a box or 2 boxes, how many boxes. And they put a chicken in there. And if the chicken shit in your box, you got all the money. And the people are drunk and screaming. It was I got some of it on video. I'll send it to you. It was the wildest thing I ever saw. And they said that they sometimes used to play it in parking lots. They used to play cow bingo and lay out the whole parking lot and then feed the cow and then set the cow loose in the parking lot. Wherever he took a shit, that's the people that want. These people are having fun. They know how to have fun.
If you can make fun out of shit, you got it made.
There's nothing funnier than shit.
Right. Michael Shane is now Mikey. The guys who were telling you the story about giving Eddie Murphy a first break, I know you got their names. What are their names? Put that in the chat room. But a lot of people, a lot of comedians, especially guys my age or older, claim that they were, part of I knew Jackie when we were getting started. I was like, I don't think so, dude. Because, like you said, not those people.
No, there were a lot. I hung out or came across so many people that it's and I especially playing in a stupid band all over Long Island. You meet so many people.
Right.
And some of them are memorable and some of them aren't, but you really do meet a lot, especially I'd smoke pot or have a drink with anybody. Right. I wasn't too discerning. If you had tits, it was a lot better. But if you didn't, I'd do it anyway,
Yeah. I'm shocked that you smoke pot now.
If that's all it takes to hang out, man, we got to go hang out. And I got tits. So
the whole Right Track Inn, the whole crowd of the Right Track Inn, when we took a break, we would go out, and the back door of the Cadillac hearse we had, it was a huge flat. The door would flap. It was huge and open all the way wide open. And there was rugs in there. It was really comfortable. And we would pack in. One night I counted 18 people were in there. And then and it was death-defying trying to close that door because it could take your arm off. And close the door, and we'd sit there, and we'd all be smoking pot. And one night, rapping on the door, and they pulled open the door, and the cop was standing there, and he almost got knocked over by the fucking smoke. He said, "What the hell are you doing? We're on break. Oh, you guys, get the hell back." It Nobody got in trouble in those days. It was just a free for all, you know.
Right. You're playing
God.
the Bolton Center. You're performing at the Bolton Center on Friday night. But Frank Bolton, who owns that, or was, I don't know if he still owns it, but his name is on it. He used to own a club in Bayshore in 1981, and I had a 13-piece band, and we would take 3 breaks a night. It was like a long night, and every break, all 13 people would already have a joint rolled for the break, and we'd go out and like stand in a circle of 13 people with like some kind of satanic ritual or something. 13 people in a circle. Everybody had a joint. We passed each other's joints around. It's so fucking ridiculous. Why not just smoke your own joint? But I mean, the amount of pot we smoked.
Great fun. Now, what was the name of the club in Bayshore?
Sundance. At first, he had the Silver Dollar Saloon, and then Sundance. I think that was at the Silver Dollar Saloon.
But he didn't have comedy.
He did sometimes. Yeah, they had all sorts of things. That Silver Dollar Saloon was supposed to be a strictly bull riding country music club, but he had comedy there. He had like bachelorette parties. Anything to on. It was a 7 night a week thing, so anybody who had any kind of entertainment was open to perform there.
Did I ever tell you that we made the movie Send No Flowers with Sean Young and whoever, a bunch of us. And we were in a beautiful home on the South Shore. And we show up to do the movie, we're doing, I forget what scenes we're doing there. And they said, this is the guy who owns the house. How you doing? This is his family. Because they let the family and the kids stay there because it's exciting because we're making a movie. And the guy pulls me aside and says, Jackie, don't say anything. I said, what are you talking about? He says, you don't recognize me? I said, no. Do I know you? He says, yeah, I used to be in Billy's Burlesque. Do you remember Billy's Burlesque?
Yeah.
He said, but my wife doesn't know. I said, well, how would I know? It's 30 years later,
Billy Dean.
Billy Dean, Billy's Burlesque. So funny.
Wow. Yeah. So you know what? These guys don't know. None of these guys. Stevens in Fort
Wayne.
Fort Wayne,
Indiana. Yeah.
And Kevin Ferguson. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
Night Shift.
He's young. He's just like he just turned 30 or something. Right?
I'm 33. Yeah.
I went out there 10 or 12 times to work at. Kevin Ferguson had a club. And he also had a TV show called Night Shift. It was a Johnny Carson type show. And you do the show on Thursday night and then, headline his club on Friday and Saturday.
That show. Yeah.
And he was a really good guy. Wow. You probably weren't even born yet. That's like 1985.
Right.
Oh, it was so fun out there.
But his show, because he did interview several comedians on that show. It's on YouTube. You can find some of those interviews. Not the best interview. Not exactly. I wouldn't call him Johnny Carson. I'd call him.
No, but I'm talking about as far as the format of the show.
Yeah.
With a band and a co-host. I didn't mean to insult poor Johnny.
Yeah. Interesting stuff there. But yeah, so Frank Bolton has been around forever and ever in the Long Island entertainment industry. But Bolton's is kind of making, Bayshore, that area where you're going to be, that's kind of making rejuvenation or whatever, whatever you want to call that.
The place, it was closed for a little while, right? And now it's back open and it's cooking with gas.
All of Bayshore was like, it turned into a ghetto, but now it's coming back like Patchogue. I don't know
how. Patchogue, right.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, they better get their asses out Friday night.
Yeah. Let's get people. By the way, anybody on Long Island in the audience there, Jackie will be at Bolton's Center for the Performing Arts Friday night, April 5th, Ralphie's birthday. Ralph, go out for your birthday. Go see Jackie. He'll be doing a Q&A meet and greet afterwards. It's a screening of the Joke Man movie. What time does it start?
8 o'clock. And we got some joke cartoons to open it up. And then I really enjoyed the Q&A at the Long Island Hall of Fame. I hope if it goes anywhere near like that, that was, I thought that was better than the film. That was so intimate.
I met
in the
Felix there. Now I had known Felix, and Felix, we have friends in common, but we never hung out. Like I used to open for Randy, Randy Jackson a bit. But Felix walked up to me wearing a suit. He just looked at me like, "I know you," and I was like, "Yeah, you know me too." And I mentioned a bunch of our friends. Oh yeah, yeah. But then I did not know that you had a kind of a relationship, a friendship with Zebra going back 40 years or whatever that was.
I
You
worked
mentioned
at
that from.
I worked at a recording studio called Workshop Recording Studios. When I worked at Neptunes, when we played at Neptunes, there were a couple of Neptunes, Right Track In, and in those days it was like a circuit, and a lot of people played the same places, just like the comedy circuit. Like we'd be there Wednesday, and somebody would be there Thursday, and Full Circle would be there next day, and Red Flannel Hash would be there and Savoy Truffle was another band, and Kevin Kelly from Savoy Truffle started saving up all his money and created a recording studio, and we used to do this song called the Pot Song, and the audience would go berserk, and we'd do a couple encores, roll out the reverb, everybody go nuts. And then this girl broke my heart, and the owner actually thought I was going to kill myself because I was out of my mind about this girl, and he got this bright idea that they're going to record the Pot Song and make a 45 RPM record out of it. So I'm thrilled, we're all thrilled. He said, and we did it at Kevin's studio. And after we did it at Kevin's studio, we said, it doesn't really have the flavor of the actual thing. So we're going to take the record and play it at the club and let the audience go nuts to the record the way they do when we play it. And we'll record that. So these guys, Kevin, we played the same clubs for 3 years, but he'd never seen me and I'd never seen him. And they show up and I'm sitting in my stool and I have a tambourine on my foot. That was our percussion. And I had a microphone on my foot tambourine. And they were like, hey, I guess this guy understands this whole recording thing. And they invited me to come work at the workshop. And that's where I learned to record everything. And then my band broke up, and what I learned at the workshop enabled me to create comedy records. It all fell in. But while I was working at the workshop, Zebra came in and did a lockdown where they locked the place for 3 weeks, and all it is the one band. So that way they don't have to set up each time. So we kind of lived in the same foxhole for 3 weeks. So of course you get so close with these guys. We had so much fun. I brought Randy Jackson home to my parents' house for Thanksgiving dinner. He was going to have dinner in a hotel. I'm like, you're out of your mind. You're coming to my house. And we made fun of him and had a great time. And then 20 or 30 years later, I get an email, Jackie, this is Felix from Zebra. I don't know if you remember me. I'm like, I wrote back and said, what are you, an asshole? We spent 3 weeks together in a foxhole. How could I have not remember? Well, my girlfriend massages Willie Nelson. Do you like Willie Nelson? And we went to see Willie Nelson. That's thanks to Felix. That's how I got to know Willie.
Wow.
And he's just a great, great, great guy. They're married now, Lisa and
he was
Felix.
he was the only one wearing a suit at the Q&A. It was very weird. Like he got all formaled up to see.
He's such a fucking New Orleans gentleman. I just love him. He's such a good guy. And Lisa massages Willie Nelson and Woody Harrelson and the Jets and the Giants. And she's this little Italian girl, and they fly her all over. She'll fly all the way to Tampa just to give a guy a massage before the game. With her, she makes a lot of money because I guess she's really good, and she does acupuncture too, and they're really good people. And Randy's such a nice guy,
No snide remarks about the gentleman's wife. Frank Stellato. That's the guy's name that I gave Eddie Murphy. The guy who found Eddie Murphy. Name ring a bell to you, Frank Stellato?
I remember. I don't remember that. I don't know that name at all. It's so funny. I remember almost everybody I ever worked with and all these crappy clubs I booked and the crappy clubs I worked. Stop me if I told you this already. And I got invited to the screening of Grown Ups 2 because Richie Minervini, my old pal, was in it. So I know all these guys. I know Kevin James and Chris Rock and David Spade and whoever else was in it. But I had never met Adam Sandler in all these years. And here we go, this big party afterwards at PJ Clark's. And I said, I got to go up. Because when Richie was making the movie, he said, Adam keeps saying, where's Martling? Is he ever going to kind of, I'm like, it's hard to just jump in the car and go to Boston when you're doing stuff. And so I went up to Adam Sandler. I said, hey, Adam, all these years I never met you. It's nice to meet you. He said, oh, I met you before. I said, what are you talking about? He said, in the early 80s, I opened for you at some club on Long Island. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I said, I remember every person I ever worked with, and you're the one that I don't fucking remember.
Wow.
And the truth, he must have been horrible, or else I got there late, or else I got there drunk, or who knows.
Or you were drunk, yeah. That
but that would be the one to remember. But of course I didn't,
My friend Matt Knutson, Knutson. I don't know. He's the only one that Knutson was on the program. He's in a basketball team with Adam Sandler. They did, I don't know, father-son league or whatever that is. But he was, he's in his book. Have I seen you in anything? Matt Knutson's been in so many things with so many people that people always ask him, have I seen you in anything? Yeah, and everything. But he was talking about what a down-to-earth, normal, just regular guy Adam Sandler is, and that's nice to hear, because he definitely could have a big head with all the money he's made. And all,
no, that's the word on the street is what a great guy is. And Minervini said they always had such a good time. He said he actually would ask about me, but Richie's so weird. He would tell me, like 2 days after the shoot wrapped, he'd say, "Oh, Adam was asking about you." Like, it's not like, "Hey, we're here now. Come on up," So, but who knows?
We should put a disclaimer out there that Richie's lies have really been responsible for your career.
They have done so much for me, you would not believe it. And then I was talking to somebody last night. I don't know where I was, or 2 nights ago. And they said, oh, and you must know Epi. And I said, Epi from my father's place. The reason I'm a comedian is because Epi is such a cheap Jew. And that is in no way an exaggeration. There's an actual truth. And Richie Minervini's lies, a lie by Richie Minervini, is how I got to meet Rodney Dangerfield.
Right, yeah.
It's all underhanded. It's not like, hey, this guy did me this favor, and this guy, here's how this guy fucked me and it led me to this, and and not underhanded horrible things. What Epi did was not horrible, but it was, it was very wrong,
Let's also call Richie and see if we can get him to lie to us.
If he answers the phone, he's lying.
My father's place has got something going on now. Steve Forbett, remember Romeo Soon?
Wow, that's so long ago.
Yeah.
He hit when I was working at the workshop, so that had to be 1977, 78.
Yeah, it was like this late 70s, yeah. He's at my father's place, my father's place this weekend, I think, or next weekend, something like that.
Well, Epi was in not the George Washington Hotel, but the Roslyn Hotel, and then he bounced out of there and went somewhere else, but now he's back in the Roslyn Hotel again, as far as I know.
We almost played there, but I did a customer survey to all our fans, and like they don't want to sit down when they come. They don't want to sit for us. They want to get up and dance and be part of the show, and that's kind of like a formal thing where sit in the chair and clap. No, our fans are not that. But
I did a couple shows, and it's a really nice room to do stand up. It really is. But Epi doesn't. He just tweaks you a little bit. He doesn't not give you your money. He gives you money, but somehow, and I forgot that I gotta deduct your parking. You know what I mean? One of those type deals where it's like, Jesus, like it's always something.
Right.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when first time I met Robert Klein, I was somewhere and Klein was there. I'm like, we're both comedians. But what do you say to Robert Klein? What's my intro to Robert Klein? And it dawned on me, and I went up to Robert Klein and said, hey, Robert, Epi says hello. And he says, how much does he owe you? And from then on, we were good friends. We're off. That just opened up the whole gate,
Yeah. Yeah, no, Klein is a funny guy, but and he's one of my heroes, obviously. I mean, musically and comedically, but I think I freak him out because every time he sees me, he thinks of Himmler. I apparently freak him out, and he like gets all like, I don't know, worried that I'm going to put him in an oven.
I'm sure a lot of people think that, you know.
No. Very, very strange. Now, Steven, by the way, is our resident positivity coach. He is Steven, the sitcom Ortiz.
You didn't even bother to introduce me to anybody.
I did before. I said really quickly.
You know what? It's your show. I'm not going to make you
look
like the dick that you are. Let them just think that I'm some kind of snob that doesn't even know they're there.
Well,
you know,
say hello to Steven. Steven is a young comedian. I mentioned before at Fort Wayne. He's been in a wheelchair for the last several years. But he calls himself the sitcom. This is his moniker now. But he's performing. He keeps a positive attitude. He's a guy who is really taking the world, making opportunities for himself, and really has a positive attitude. And in contrast to me, I think he's a great example of that. So
what Matt did not mention is that Steven does not have to be in a wheelchair. He's just chose to be in a wheelchair for the past several years.
Yeah, it's just a gimmick.
Listen, I know a lot of lazy people. So when I saw the sitcom, the sitcom thing, you're not the guy with the muscles in his stomach situation. That's the situation guy.
The situation.
No.
Jersey.
I got a stomach, but it's not. It's nothing to show off.
Yeah, me neither. So the truth is, you are in a wheelchair, and you have a positive outfit.
Yeah.
Outlook, which is great.
And it works a lot.
The bad news is you live in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
That is the bad news, but
it could be
I'm getting
worse.
out further and further, though.
It could be Grants, New Mexico, which, the opportunities in Fort Wayne are actually much better than like Grants, New Mexico. I mean, he gets around. I mean, the whole Midwest area he's performing in. So, not letting anything stop him. And this guy is Ron Kane, also known as Dave Attell. Have you met Dave Attell before?
Hey, Dave. Now, Ron is from where?
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, you should move to Fort Wayne.
He's gonna have a meltdown.
The top of my list, Jackie. It's at the top of my list.
3 Mile Island.
I just got another call. Me and Bales. Is Scranton near Harrisburg?
About 2 hours from me.
Oh, so it's not close. Because me and Bales drove all the way out to maybe it was Scranton to do a show a long time ago. It was a pretty decent amount of money. And the guy just called. But I think he said he was in Harrisburg, but he wanted to book me and Bob Levy and what's his name? Florentine. Have a big Howard Stern show. And I said, no, I'm not driving 3 hours to talk about Howard Stern and I don't even, I don't work with those guys. I don't know those guys. They spend so much time on the air just haranguing everybody like that. That's not my style. Like a guy yesterday said, hey, I'm going to pay you a lot of money. I want you to come to my son's 25th birthday party and rip them apart. I'm like, I don't do that. Do the math. I'm a happy guy. I tell stupid jokes about shit and sex, and guys in wheelchairs and guys that live in Harrisburg,
Yeah.
So I'm just fucking around. So you're a comic from Harrisburg?
Yeah, I've been doing it about 6.5 years now, and I produce shows as well. And I'll actually be in Scranton on the 19th of this month. It's funny that you brought up.
Congratulations! Look, I have suggestions
Same place.
to you. I don't know if I have the authority to say anything, but at some point I would drop the half. Say I've been comedy 6 years, because 6.5 sounds like maybe when you get to 7, you'll be more successful.
I'm 64 and a half years old.
Yeah. That was the whole Carlin thing. He said, when you're a little kid, like I'm 2.5, and then at the other end of your life, like I'm 95 and a half. You know what I mean? Trying to stretch things out.
We have to say goodbye to governors. Governors, we'll